We are live. Panic Friday. Welcome to Power Hour Friday edition from Los Angeles. How's everybody doing? I'm telling you guys, it is one hell of a day to be short the market. When I started the channel about, I don't know, a month ago now, maybe 5 weeks ago, one of the first videos I put out is are there any black swans? Is the market going to crash? Well, we're not crashing. I mean, we're going down, but we're not crashing exactly. And how am I doing, right? Can you make money when the market goes down? We talked about it. You absolutely can. So we're going to have a few topics. I have a couple other announcements. So the channel is doing fine. Thank you for the support. Please put thumbs up on the videos. From the subscriber count to the views on long format videos that we're putting out, it's not there, meaning most of you are not watching it. It really would help if you guys put a thumbs up on those videos. YouTube algorithm likes it. My boss says so. The other thing is I did 2 episodes of Insiders of Wall Street with Jack Barugian, who's the OG of OGs of trading. Please watch that. There's such great information in there. And what else? 200, 2000. Okay. I don't know what that means. Hello, everybody. Ryan, Wezoom, Alex. Alex, I highlighted your questions. I will answer those questions towards the end. Keep the questions. We'll highlight it. I'll answer them. So without further ado, I will absolutely share my screen. The other thing is one other announcement. As of next week, I'm going to do only 1 power hour on Fridays, which will also give me the recap of the week. However, on Monday, I'm going to do the final Monday power hour. So there's not going to be any more Friday edition and Monday edition, but the power hours are going to be longer. So instead of an hour, maybe we'll go 90 minutes if there's enough people watching. So please tell your friends and relatives that I exist, that I know this stuff. So on Monday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my actual trading account with you all. Complete transparency from where it was at the end of last month to at the end of May. Break it down trade by trade pretty much. And we're going to do 1 power hour a week on Fridays, 90 minutes or so. And then we're going to call it a day. So today we're going to talk about topics. Well, I picked these topics a couple days ago. It kind of is interesting that these are the topics that I picked. So the first topic is going to be this one. Where am I? Right here. Okay. How long will it take to close? Yeah, that's going to be a good question. All right. So topic number 1. I don't like the way it looks. This one. Nope, that's not. I don't like that one either. This one? Yeah, I like it this way. Okay. So one of the topics I picked is the S&P 500 could plunge as much as 70% this cycle as markets hit a mother load of FOMO. FOMO, we know what it is. Fear of missing out, right? Do trees grow to the sky? No. Do they get chopped? Yes. But when they do get chopped, it depends on who's chopping it. I mean, my bias has been negative this year. That's why, I mean, look, my account is up over 200%. I'm not going to complain. However, my main trading account and my little Robinhood account is up about 100% in 5 weeks. But then I'm really trying to be careful. It's so volatile today that if I traded that account, I'll probably blow it out in a single day. But, as I said before, I'm not in a sprint. I'm running a marathon. So this is the topic, right? Is FOMO exist? Well, absolutely. I mean, when people buy stocks because it's going to split, That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life, in my trading life of 30 years, right? Oh, Nvidia is going to split 10 for 1. Let's buy the stock. I'm like, it's not, nothing changes because of a split. Company doesn't earn more money. Nothing changes. But, today's market, people just go, oh, yeah, it's going to split. Well, no, one share is going to be replaced with 10 shares. Nothing changes, right? The CEO doesn't change, earnings don't change, nothing changes. But anyway, so that's called FOMO, fear of missing out. People just dump, into the market, although the interest rates are at 5%, and we're going to talk about that too. So this fund manager, John Hausman, look, this guy has been bearish for a while, but you know what they say: a broken clock is correct twice every day. Okay, if you keep repeating the same thing, you're going to be eventually right. And when you're right, you better be on it, right? I mean, market's eating it today, yesterday as well. There's constant selling on all these FOMO stocks, right? And justifiably so. I mean, trees don't grow to the sky. When things get parabolic, the end of parabolic is never good. So, he's looking at 50 to 70%. I'm going like, okay, no, that's not going to happen. The Fed cannot allow the market to hang 70%. Okay, we talked about this. My favorite Fed who keeps pumping money nonstop. And we're going to talk about that too. So I have about 4 or 5 different topics today. I may go a little longer. So, he's talking about a 70% correction. No, I'm going to go through my charts. I'm going to go through my watch list. I'm going to talk about the markets, obviously, towards the end of the show before I answer your questions. I don't think market's going to go down 70%. Is there going to be a correction that started already? Absolutely. Yeah, it started about a few days ago, and it's continuing. Like today, inflation core CPI came out, which what the Fed watches more than the CPIU. It was fine according to them. Obviously, market did not buy it, and boom, tank. Right. So when it's tanking, what's happening? Am I losing money? Am I making money? Well, we'll talk about that too if you guys like. But then maybe I'll save that for Monday when I break down my actual trading account with you guys. It is up. I mean, it's up. I'm short the market, so I'm not going to deny it. Full transparency, 70% no, but definite correction happening. So, Mr. Hussman, you keep saying the same thing. Eventually, it will happen. Supposedly he has indicators that are hitting 1929 extremes about the FOMO. And he keeps saying, I continue to view the market advance recent months as an attempt to grasp the suds of yesterday's bubble. I like that quote, though. Rather than a new durable bull market advance. I agree. All the internals of the market have been shit for a while anyway. And this is what happens when the selling starts. It just feeds on itself. And I talked about it last week, actually, about those zero DTE options. Okay. Remember those guys? Right. And you guys should see the trading on these zero DTE options today. It's insanity. And it's just feeding on itself. Right. And, this is what happens when the stock market becomes a gambling mecca of meme guys and option jockeys. Well, it is what it is. You just got to adapt, adjust. What are you going to do? I mean, it is what it is. If you're short the market, you're making money. If you're long the market, you're eating it. I mean, that's all there is to it. But then, again, stay with the trend, right? Trend is your friend. The trend has turned down. Now you got to sell every rally until the market proves itself otherwise. And before it was buy every rally. It's a short-term downtrend. It's not like a long-term. The long-term trend is still up. So with all due respect to Mr. Hussman, I disagree. Market's not going 50 to 70%. Weird things have happened, obviously. But I don't think it's going to be that deep. I think definitely correction is happening, but not to that degree. So that's the end of the first topic. Let's go to the second topic. One of my favorite people on the planet is Elon Musk. I talk a lot about Elon Musk. I think he's a genius, absolute freaking genius in his own little way, obviously. We know, we all heard about the AI boom, artificial intelligence, machine learning. What's going to happen, right? Is it going to replace my kids' future? It looks like it is. But, a couple of days ago, he said something that caught my eye that I want to actually share my opinion about. So Elon Musk expects, he says, AI will replace all, he didn't say most, he said all human jobs, and it will lead to universal high income. Now, those two kind of, I don't know, universal high income for who, Elon? For you or for me? I don't know. Um, so he was like, he talked about this and he was really genuine about it. I mean, he wasn't like, saying it with a smirk on his face. I personally believe AI is going to replace, I mean, we know what's happening now, right? Running this rinky-dink small channel, I already figured out that there is software that can edit faster than an editor can edit a video. Not as well, but it will get there, right? And we're going to start using that. So on the channel to do some clips. So, but Elon was talking about all jobs will be replaced by AI. Now, I'm not buying that. If you're a plumber, how's AI going to replace your job? If you're a electrician, if you're a, I don't know, drywall contractor, I mean, I don't see AI doing my drywalls or, unclogging my toilet anytime soon. So, that's why jobs like that are always going to be necessary. Use your hands. That's why I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. College completely overrated. I mean, most college jobs will be replaced by AI. These kids are going to college, coming out of college with a bunch of debt, and then what? Replaced by AI. We know what's happening with them. A couple of my really great journalist friends got replaced by AI, LA Times and the Business Insider. I mean, ChatGPT, right? We all know all that stuff. I mean, it's there and it's going to just get better and better and better. And, so he goes, in a benign scenario, probably none of us will have a job. I'm like, okay. There will be universal high income and not universal basic income. See, that's the difference there. I'm a believer in UBI. Okay. I think it's going to take a foothold because if, most people have regular jobs, right? Truck drivers have regular jobs. If their business jobs are going to get replaced by autonomous trucks, what's going to happen? Are they going to revolt? I mean, we know what happened yesterday in the political arena, right? I mean, people go hungry, shit will hit the fan. So I think universal basic income is going to be necessary at some point. And so he said that, in his opinion, there is an 80% chance that AI advances will result in such a situation where humans will not need a job and will have all they need. Now, I didn't, I'm not buying. How do you not have a job, a paycheck, the job that we know of, right? The W-2 or 9 to 5 or whatever you want to call it, and they will have all they need. How's that going to work out? Not everyone is equipped or could be retrained to use AI, machine learning, all this stuff, data scientists, whatever. I mean, even the coders, right? Software writers are going to be replaced by AI because AI will write code better than they can. So to me, he's kind of talking both sides out of his mouth on this one. But I do believe that if you have kids, do not, encourage them to get into something. I mean, look down the road, like 10 years down the road. Look down the road. If there is a possibility of AI or robots replacing that job, tell your kids not to study that at college. Do something else. So, and I mean, I'm just reading his quotes and I'm disagreeing or agreeing with him to a point. The question will really be one of meaning, of how. If a computer can do and the robots can do everything better than you, does your life have a meaning? Musk said. That really will be the question in that benign scenario. And in the negative scenario, all bets are off, where we're in deep trouble. Well, look, AI can be cut two ways. It could be great for humanity, or it could be horrible for humanity. I don't know much about it. I mean, I read quite a bit about it. I study it, but honestly, AI. I'm hearing that AI could be used for wonderful things, right? Such as energy, new sources of energy, or growing crops a lot differently and healthy way and cheaper. And a lot of these things can be done with AI supposedly, but with abundance, right? So we can lower the cost of all these things. And maybe that's what he's talking about it here. So the all bets are off scenario is robots take over. Like when we go to war, let's say, we'll have a bunch of indestructible robots going on, 1,000 of them blowing an army off of 1,000,000 people. Is that where we're going to go? Is that the future? Is that what my kids are looking forward to? Sure, heck, hope not. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of talking both sides out of his mouth. And then he actually sat down with the Prime Minister of UK, Rishi Sunak, last week. And, and then he goes, I think we are seeing the most disruptive force in history here. Yeah, I do. That part I do agree with him. It's hard. And then, I'll finish with his last quote. It's hard to say exactly what that moment is, but there will come a point where no job is needed. Elon, who's going to build your house, Elon? A robot? Maybe. Is it there? Is it going to be in my lifetime? Probably not. 30 years down the road? Probably so. You can have a job if you want to have a job. Well, yeah, what are people going to do? Just watch YouTube all day long or TikTok? Or I don't know. They're doing that enough and ruining brain cells already. So I'm not sure. This is a scary proposition coming from a man who's a genius. I consider to be a genius. So, Elon, I sure as heck hope you're wrong, at least for my kid's future anyway. But then, I keep telling him, look, get into something that you're going to be needed in 10, 15 years when you graduate from college, not with some junk business degree, that's useless already before you even come out of college. So we'll see. Future is the AI. We know what's happening to the AI stocks, obviously. And I'm curious myself, but at my age, maybe I have another 20 years. Maybe I will see it replace me and maybe not. In what I do in trading, AI has been there. Algorithms have been there already. So I'm kind of used to it when it comes into that arena. But as far as replacing every single job on this planet, there will be war. There will be just bad consequences of that if this AI genie is completely let out of the box without regulation or without some downside. Because there are two parts of that AI community. One is the effective altruists, and the other ones are the commercial users, right? Just billionaires who want to make more billions. We know how much money is getting poured into AI by every single massive company on the planet, right? So who's going to win? The effective altruists who are going to take AI and use it in a bad way, or the bad guys who get a hold of AI and absolutely mess the world up that we know as it is? But I hope Elon is wrong. I hope people still have jobs, a clean 9 to 5, make your money, spend your money. It goes on, but time will tell. So that's my second topic. I'm going to jump to my third topic because I'm pretty sure you guys will have some questions about the markets. I am trading in the background, by the way. I just keep buying and selling things, so no worries. So let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin and my second favorite genius on the planet. Okay, Michael Saylor, the guru of Bitcoin, right? And I mean, look, I read everything that he says. I truly consider him a genius when it comes to at least Bitcoin anyway. Not every crypto or shitcoin, but Bitcoin for sure. This guy is absolutely the guru of Bitcoin, or has become so, by mortgaging his company to the tune of billions of dollars and just buying Bitcoin. In fact, there is a Japanese company and another company, American company, who are going much smaller, levels, but who are going exactly the way he's going. They're putting their company assets, whatever cash they have, into Bitcoin. Why? Well, we talked about what Fed does. We talked about, inflation, and we talked about your fiat currency, the dollars, were not worth being shit. That you're losing 67% of value of your $100 bill every single year. Well, Bitcoin is kind of an inflation hedge, right? There's a finite amount of it. You cannot make more of it. Okay. I mean, the only risk I see at this moment, I used to think government would be the risk, regulation would be risk, but that's out now, because in this part, he's talking about the acceptance of those Bitcoin ETFs that BlackRock and Fidelity and Grayscale and ARK Investments are bringing in, and then money is pouring in. I mean, the public is pouring money into these funds. in a month, these funds receive billions and billions of inflows, right? So, so in fact, Bitcoin ownership in those funds, combined with the corporate ownership, such as PayPal and MicroStrategy, these outfits, the ETFs, MicroStrategy, PayPal, and a couple other outfits, have at the moment own 1 million Bitcoin, and he called that, right. I think he called that what did he call it? Nakamoto, one Nakamoto. So Nakamoto comes from Satoshi Nakamoto, who supposedly, nobody knows who he is, but who supposedly is the inventor of the blockchain. And what a system. I mean, if that guy is it, and one day he comes out, I sure hope when he invented this thing, he pocketed about a couple of million Bitcoin at zero cost. I don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, there are rumors, obviously, but so he called it the one Nakamoto moment, meaning 1 million Bitcoin owned by these top 3 Bitcoin holders, right? ETFs. BlackRock now is the largest holder of Bitcoin because it's the ETF, right? So public is pouring in money, and then they're just going and buying Bitcoin. So BlackRock owns 287,000 Bitcoin, Fidelity at 161,000. This is as of last week. I'm pretty sure it's going to be higher next week. ARK Invest 48,000. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy owns 214 or 15,000 Bitcoin, right? And he keeps buying. And when the money comes into these funds, they have to immediately go buy Bitcoin, the physical Bitcoin. And that's what's happening. And public is able to kind of buy themselves actually an inflation hedge themselves, right? And so they're just going and buying it, and money is pouring in. Some people are talking about Bitcoin is going to 1 million. I mean, it could, right? If public keeps buying and there are no sellers, like we talked about supply and demand, there is finite supply. There's 21 million of these things. There is no more. And now tomorrow, if it comes out, somebody says, "Oh, I'm just creating another, 10 million Bitcoin," then we're in big trouble, and the thing will go to, nowhere. I mean, to zero probably. I don't know. But at the moment, for 15 years, it hasn't been able to hack. It hasn't been able to take over. I mean, we know IRS got hacked. This thing is continuing. Even if all the computers, all the nodes that are connected to the blockchain go down simultaneously, there's like a global power outage, right? All it will do is it will just go to sleep, like with all the computers. And when the computers come back to life, it'll pick up where it left off. And every single transaction is recorded on that blockchain. I mean, what a system. This guy figured out if he's real, Satoshi Nakamoto. So he says this is going to keep happening. That's why Bitcoin is consolidating between 63 and 70,000, right? It's not going down. We know that. It's not going up either, but on every consolidation, we talked about this on technical analysis. Every consolidation ends how? How does it end? That way, okay? After a major move that it took 30,000 to 70,000, it's just going sideways. And when things like that happen, that's called a continuation pattern in my world on the technical analysis. The fundamental side is a different story, but money is pouring into ETFs, and ETFs are forced to go buy Bitcoin. That's why there's more demand coming in. And if you look at the overall marketplace, right? I mean, Bitcoin is what, at 70,000, 21 million. It's like $1.5 trillion asset. It's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, think about it. Nvidia is almost worth $3 trillion, just a single company. And all of Bitcoin is about $1.5 trillion at 70,000. Think about it. Apple worth 3 trillion, Google worth 2 trillion. We're talking trillions now, right? Amazon 2 trillion, Meta 2 trillion. Just in those 5-6 companies, we're talking $15 trillion, the magnificent seven, right? And Bitcoin is only worth $1.5 trillion? No. So if you look at the overall global money supply and how much money is sloshing around, I see Bitcoin going higher, honestly. Is it going to go to 1 million? I don't know. That I can tell. But on the next leg up, I'm pretty sure it's going to hit 110. And I want to be in it when that happens, of course. But I'm just waiting now. I have enough Bitcoin. I'll just wait until it breaks out, and if I'm going to trade, I'll trade it. So I agree with Michael Saylor. I mean, so according to him, one Nakamoto was accomplished. So let's see when two Nakamoto gets accomplished. More retail pours money into these ETFs, and ETFs go buy Bitcoin, and they have to put it away. I mean, and so the supply is shrinking constantly. Then what, right? When supply shrinks, demand's constant. Remember, we talked about this, not too complicated. Supply, demand, price goes up. So that's the third topic. And this is one of my favorite people on the planet, next to Jay Powell of the Fed, Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary. We put like 80 videos on my channel so far. Out of 80, maybe 10 talk about the shenanigans the Fed has been pulling. Now, their hand is kind of forced to do what they do because they have to save the economy. I talked about, right, them printing 800 billion only during the great financial crisis. In the European crisis, 3 trillion. During COVID, close to 6 trillion. And there will be another black swan event that they have to print, I don't know, 12 trillion to save the economy, because too big to fail. They don't let anything fail. They just clean up the garbage, kick the can down the road, right? But then that comes because there's two policies in this country: fiscal policy and monetary policy. Well, Fed is kind of forced. Their hands are forced because our politicians in Washington, if you ever watch this, any politician, please come on the show and let's do an interview with you, whoever you are, any senator, any House member. All you guys do is spend money, tax and spend, tax and spend. I'm going like, okay, when our deficits are at $34 trillion, trillion with a T, and Bitcoin is only $1.5 trillion, think about it. So $34 trillion, what does the Fed have to do? Well, guess what? That debt is an IOU. Countries all around the world own our ass. Chinese being the largest one at the moment, and we're going to talk about that on the next one, which is kind of a good segue into the next topic, but I want to talk about this first. Janet Yellen issues serious 34 trillion warning as Bitcoin. Did you listen to me, Janet? Is that what's happening here? And predicted as Bitcoin is predicted to surge to 1 million price. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? The problem with this is when the Fed raises the rates, which they did, because they created inflation by printing all that money, right? So it's man-made, nothing more, nothing less. Guess what? That $34 trillion servicing, that's an IOU. There is an interest rate attached to these bonds and notes and bills that they're issuing every single day by the billions, right? For what? To make up for the deficit, because as a country, we take in, let's say, hypothetically, $4 trillion in revenue, which is tax revenue, but then we spend $5.5 trillion. Okay, so that $1.5 trillion has to be made up somehow. How does that made up? That's made up by creating more debt. We have to borrow. The only way we can borrow, by the way, we're the world's reserve currency. If that changes, we are in deep, deep shit, people. Trust me. So Janet Yellen finally issues a warning about 34 trillion debt. While because the Fed created the inflation, now they're trying to kill inflation. The antidote for killing inflation, to kill inflation is higher interest rates. Well, we had zero interest rates, zero interest rate policy for years, for a decade and a half. Now we went from 0 to 5%, right? All our car loans went up, mortgages went up, everything is kind of teetering at the edge because we just went up from 0 to 5. Historically, actually 5 is pretty low interest rate still, but nobody is used to it because nobody studies this stuff. But anyway, just the servicing, the debt interest payments on that 34 trillion, when the rates were at 0, was very low, couple hundred billion. Now, just that part jumped to 870 billion. We have to pay interest to the people who hold our ass, hold our bonds, right? And finally, Janet, good old Janet, is talking about it, saying, hey, but again, their hands are tied. The Fed's hands are tied because of fiscal policy. Our fiscal policy is so garbage that we created this $34 trillion anchor, I call it anchor, in the economy. And just to service it, we have to come up with 870 billion a year this year alone to pay people interest around the globe. How's that working for you? No. But then who am I, right? But I've been talking about this for years. And actually, I'm talking about this on the channel. So this is gonna be bad. This is gonna end badly. Again, my lifetime, I'm not worried about me, but then my kids, why should they be saddled with $35 trillion? And it's going up like $1 trillion a year, by the way. So why should they be saddled with all this debt? Somebody has to pay this. Well, it will never get paid back, actually, because it's impossible. Imagine, how do we pay this back? How? No way, no how, right? But then the anchor just keeps getting larger. That's dragging under our boat, okay? So please, Washington, stop. Just balance your budget. Just like I balance my budget at home. Please balance your budget. This is not a way to live. If this was me, I'd be bankrupt like 10 times over already, okay? This is just, I run my household with a budget. Why can't you idiots over there get a hold of yourselves? You know what it is, though? It's called OTM, other people's money. They collect the taxes and then they spend it. I'm like, well, don't spend it. If your budget is 4 trillion, you collect 4 trillion, you balance the budget, that 34 trillion will stay constant. In fact, it may even go down if you balance your budget in a manner that I do in my household. So Janet is warning. I've been warning. Market's kind of sensing this. Mr. Hussman on the first topic, he's looking at this and going like, okay, this shit's gonna hit the fan. And once in a while, the shit is gonna hit the fan. The US national debt is rising by 1 trillion every 100 days. This is the chief strategist of Bank of America. Think about this, people. 1 trillion, the national debt, every 100 days. Think about it. Think how messed up this is. And out of that 1 trillion, 870 billion is just the interest payments, right? So Mr. Hartnett predicted the newly created spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, which is all connected now, right? How do we protect ourselves from inflation and this calamity? Well, we put our money into something that's not going to lose value while we're sitting on it, just like the fiat currency. And, that's why Bitcoin is Bitcoin. And that's why people are believing in it. And that's why gold has been going up. That's why real estate has gone up in this country, because the true hedge of inflation is hard assets. You need to own hard assets. Paper is garbage. You need to own, and that's why there is the saying, cash is trash. That's because they made it trash. But so, Janet, I agree with you. First time I agree with you. Again, Congress, fix this shit. This is garbage. Don't mortgage my kids' future because you guys are on a spending spree. Okay, have a good one. And this is what's happening now. Okay, this is a good segue to this topic. Who is the largest debt holder of ours around the globe? China. You guys remember about a week ago, Mr. Biden, our current president, put sanctions on China, right? On EVs, solar panels, and all that good stuff. That's why U.S. solar companies went up. And one of my stocks that I was talking to you about last week was First Solar, Enphase, all these things, which I'm going to go through. So what is China doing? See, we can put a gun to their head by saying, okay, we're going to put tariffs on you. We're not going to buy shit from you, right? So your economy is going to tank because Chinese economy is based on what? On exporting shit to us. And our economy is based on what? On buying shit that China produces. That's where we are. We used to be a manufacturing economy. No. Now we're a service economy where 75% of our GDP is consumer spending, right? Well, what did China do? They have every year, they have $500-600 billion trade surplus, and we have a trade deficit, meaning whatever we're selling them minus what they're selling us, they're gaining $600 billion a year. Okay, so what do they do with that $600 billion? They come buy U.S. Treasury bonds. Who owns whose ass now? Okay, so but now China goes, you know what? That dollars that I'm holding intentionally is being devalued by the US government, because these treasuries go from 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 30-year. By the time Chinese bonds that they own, our bonds, matures in 30 years, that piece of paper they're holding is not worth shit. So China figured, you know what? They have a bigger gun. We have a bigger gun on our head, on their head, on the US's head than they have on our head, because their economy is global. They'll sell it. They sell garbage to all over the world. Okay, US is not gonna buy it. Yes, our economy is gonna get hurt, but we hold their future in our hands, right? So now, for the last 6 months, this is happening every single month now, China is selling the treasuries. What is that doing? That's adding pressure, because all that sale, right, is going to put more upward pressure on interest rates, right? So what they're doing is they're just starting to liquidate the treasury holdings that they have. And last month, they sold another 50 billion. They reduced their treasury holdings from 815 billion to 767 billion, right? And why? Because they believe that the fiat currency, US dollar, is garbage, and they don't want to participate, right? And I don't blame them. Honestly, I think they figured out the game. And that's why, again, everybody is so hot on Bitcoin. And if they keep doing this, if they keep reducing their treasury holdings, think about this. Remember that 34 trillion, and our debt is going up by $1 trillion every 100 days, right? Who are we going to sell these bonds to? We're signing IOUs and handing it over all over the globe. Who's going to buy? If the Chinese don't buy, if the Germans don't buy, if the Japanese don't buy, who's going to buy? Who? So what happens, in order to make these bonds attractive to the investor? Yes, in the US, there's trillions of dollars of this floating around in pension plans, 401ks, mutual funds, things like that. I get it. But if, in order to make this more attractive, right, we cannot lower the interest rate on something, if they look at this IOA, I have it at 3%. They go, no, I want more interest, because the value, the actual value of the bond that I'm holding, right? Dollar is losing due to inflationary pressures. Dollar is losing its value. So there is a nominal rate in this. Nominal rate meaning, if I buy a bond today, okay, if I even forget the bond, this is too complicated. If I go to my credit union and get a 6-month CD, 1-year CD, right? It's going to pay me 5%, right? Am I really truly getting 5% though? Because our inflation, actual inflation, not the government told one, is running about 5, 6, 7%. So actually, I'm just about breaking even. So the buyer of all these hundreds of billions or trillions of bonds around the globe, they're going to say, wait a minute, you're inflating, you're debasing your currency, I'm losing value on the shit that I'm holding. You need to pay me more interest. So that's why the interest rates may stay high for longer than the Federal Reserve would like, right? So, this is all coming together now, right? The debt is coming together. Fiscal policy being completely upside down is coming together, while stocks are going parabolic, or have been going up and up and up and up and up. Something is going to break. Okay, is this the start of the break? I don't know yet, but I told this before. I'm going to say it to finish these segments. The day the Federal Reserve starts cutting interest rates is going to be the top in the market. Trust me, because the only reason Federal Reserve lowers interest rates is when economy is slowing down. Since our GDP is based 75% on consumer spending, that's the day the market's going to sniff, saying, oh, wait a minute, is the consumer getting weaker? Is that why they're lowering rates? Because Fed only lowers rates when they think the economy is slowing down. And that will be the top of the market for a while. Okay. And the people are going to say, yeah, but when they cut rates, market goes up. Nope. Market goes up 6 months ahead. It's always 6 to 8 months ahead. So never forget that. So yeah, I'm going to say good on Chinese. They figured the game out. They go, yeah, we don't want your garbage bonds. We're losing money. By the time it comes to maturity, that bond that I bought for it, because every bond is $1,000, that bond is worth $500 by the time it comes to maturity and you pay me my IOU back. No thanks. Have a nice day. And again, we're playing with fire, people. That's all I can say. And a lot of people talk about it, but then it goes to deaf ears, and people just go FOMO and get into markets. And I'm like, okay, well, when it ends, don't cry. When it ends badly. So, oh, let me show you that I didn't send it to Chris. My bad, my fault, completely. My Robinhood account last week was a 2025. I will post this on the community page, and as of this second, can you guys see this? It's going down. Right now, I'm at 19.70 and 10 cents. So I have lost, with all this debacle, I have lost $50 more. I'm still double, but that's where we are at the moment. It could be higher than this by the end of the day. That's another reason I want to do the power hours once a week. So one every week, I can show this account and I can show my actual trading account to you all. So yeah, I lost $50 this week so far on this account. I have 2 positions open. What can I do? So okay, well, we're gonna answer those questions. Yeah, it doesn't matter who holds what. It's just the point that these people are figuring the game out. Just digital simulations. They go like, okay, whatever I'm holding is garbage, so I don't want it. And again, all this is happening because we are the chosen currency, or we're the reserve currency of the world. God forbid if that changed. So, okay. So let's do this. Before I answer any questions, let's go to my list. You guys are all seeing this. Let me go through my watch list real quick. And I added a few new stocks. So start doing your homework. And here it is. You guys can see this, I'm hoping. So market's eating it today, obviously. Nasdaq down 211. Dow Jones, nobody pays attention to the Dow Jones these days. Yeah, I'm hoping that this is not the start of something horribly bad. But let's do this. Let's look at the triple Qs, and we'll go from there. We'll start there. We'll go through the usual suspects. I am short some options I have to pay attention to, so sorry. Let me check the price on these things. Okay, sounds good. Looking good. All right, so here are the triple Qs. This is the 2-minute chart. Let's not look at intraday. Let's look at daily. All right, that's what's happening. So again, we talk about the trend. Trend is your friend. Trend has been up. Trend is up. There's nothing wrong with it yet. But then on the upper right-hand corner, can you guys see the little rollover here, right here? So one of the rules of thumbs is going to be 20-day average right here, exponential moving average, 50-day average. So it's going to test the 50-day average. Okay, there's no doubt about it now. And then there is this uptrend that triple Qs have been holding on to. So I'm highlighting all these. The fact that the market made a new high and then it's rolling over now is really, really suspect to me. So I have been short the market for the last 4 days. I took profits today, but I will share my account, my trading account with you all on Monday in detail. Yeah, I mean, market's rolling over. That's the triple Qs, which is the NASDAQ 100, which is where the Magnificent Seven lives. Let's look at everybody's favorite, NVIDIA. I mean, what can you say? Trend is up. Earnings came out, blew it out. It's pulling back a little bit, but trend is up. I mean, Mr. Hussman, who says 70% correction, I don't know what the hell he's looking at. This is the 10-year T-notes in reverse. We talked about this. We've been talking about this. Here's the downtrend channel right here. I'm highlighting the 2 lines. I mean, it's not a coincidence that it just got up there, right? And then now it's just pulling back, and then it's going to retest again. This channel has been in existence since last, let's see, December. whichever way it goes, it's staying in the channel. This is the interest rate. So when you see this chart going down, that means interest rates are going up. Um, um, I mean, channel is the channel, and this is the S&P 500. Again, same thing. Made a new high up here where my cursor is. Rolling over now. It's definitely going to test this 50-day high, which is nothing. It happens quite often. I have my support lines drawn already. No panic. Not necessary. The 200-day is so far away. I mean, these things, these kind of corrections, as we see right here, where I'm circling my cursor, these things happen. And then the uptrend is intact, Mr. Hussman. So here's the uptrend. I mean, I so far from the uptrend. So I'm going like, I don't panic, people. Don't panic and sell your stocks yet. There will be a time for that to panic, but actually never panic. If you watch enough CNBC, though, they will panic you out of things. So I'm going to go to my trading list. Okay, let's go one by one. Please take notes. Okay, so this is one of my favorite stocks that used to, even with the sanctions, right? This is Alibaba. Alibaba, broke out of a 2-3 year downtrend right here. I'm highlighting it. It is exactly into support now right here. I highlighted that line, right? I own July 80 calls on Alibaba. I added them actually today, but I was short the triple Q, so it kind of balanced itself out. No big deal. Stock broke out, massive move up, pulling back on low volume. I'm okay with it. It's pulling back to the 50-day average right here, exponential moving average. I'm okay with this. Where's my stop? If you guys ask me, like, where's my risk? So if you're buying Alibaba today at 78, your risk is going to be capped at right about 75. So you're risking 3 points to make 10 to 12. Good trade. I'll take it all day long. Here's another one, Riot Software. Riot platform, which is Bitcoin miner, one of the top 3 Bitcoin miners on the planet. Here's a daily on Riot. It's just been going sideways, but if Bitcoin does crack above the 70,000 after this consolidation, I am expecting a move. Am I long the stock? No. I'm watching. That's why it's called a watch list. We talked about Wayfair. Stock broke out, pull back to the 200-day. On a day like today, where the market's eating it, absolutely eating it, stock is up. That's another thing you guys need to start paying attention to. What is that? It's called outperformance and underperformance, right? When you have a stock that's green on a day that the market's down 250 points or so on the triple Qs, that means that stock is going to get stronger if the market recovers faster than everything else. This is Marathon Holdings, which is another Bitcoin miner. We talked about this. This is the channel that it's living in. It's pulling back to the lower part of the channel. Don't own it, just watching it. This is Carvana. Now, Carvana is getting absolutely interesting. Here was the old resistance. I'm highlighting it. Earnings came out, blew it out, gap. It went from 94 to 130. Okay. Now it's pulling back to this 50-day average, just like it did here. I'm a buyer of Carvana at the old high or a little bit higher, about 95 levels. Stock is about 99, so it has a little bit more to go. But I can comfortably say this is one of my favorite stocks. When it does pull back to 95 levels, I'm a buyer, so take a note of that. Next one is going to be Albemarle. This stock is still on a, I don't know, 2 or 3 year downtrend. Yeah, as for October of 2022, actually. It's basing. It's going sideways. Here's my support. Here's the resistance. Here's the other resistance. Just watch it. When it breaks out above that, definitely buy it and put it away. Now, here comes some fun stocks. This is called Bloom Energy. Complete breakout. This is all happened, by the way, when Mr. Biden announced the sanctions on China on solar panels and EVs and things like that. Well, as soon as they came out, money poured into the stock because this is a U.S. company, right? So that means what? U.S. companies are going to benefit from those tariffs. So stock broke out from a 2-year downtrend. It's just consolidating now right here. My cursor, you guys will see. On any pullback, you guys should be buyers of the stock. I am long the stock on the breakout at about 13 levels. Right now it's about 16. Market's down big. Stock only down 2%, 35 cents. I'll take it all day long. Here's First Solar. We talked about this again last week. Another stock that is benefiting from Biden's sanctions against China. Earnings came out, stock did well, it broke out, went nuts. It went from 200 to 290 in a matter of 5 days. Is it too much? Of course. Parabolic, of course. But then these are the types of stocks that you can comfortably buy on pullbacks, right? Do you want to go short here? Absolutely not. It's above its 200-day. It's right here. It's above its 50-day. It's above its 20-day. In fact, it's too far above it. So what's going to happen is that these things have a tendency of pulling back to those levels. So, again, or 50% correction from the old high breakout, let's say 200 to 290 is 90 points. 45 points is 245, somewhere around here should be your buying point, starting position point anyway. Don't buy it all at once. Scale in, scale out. Here's Billy. Again, market's in the shit. Stock is green. Stock broke out. Nothing wrong with this chart. So these are the charts you guys need to find out. And then I'll show you some bad charts. This stock I'm getting really, really interested in now. This is called Upstart Holdings. They're online actually loan. They make loans online with AI. Remember Elon Musk's AI? Okay. So here's the support on the stock. Here's your risk. I'm a buyer of the stock right about here, 24, 25. And my risk is at 20. Here's the resistance. Can go. I'm not interested in it actually. I will open a new positions and keep adding to it. This is MicroStrategy, right? This is the Michael Saylor stock, right? We talked about this last 2 weeks. It broke out, cleared out all this resistance, got to the third level of resistance. Now it's pulled back. It's a very volatile stock, and it's a Bitcoin surrogate. So you can buy the ETFs or you can buy MicroStrategy. Be really careful with these stocks. They are extremely, extremely volatile. Here's Super Microcomputer, fake breakout, rolling back. Here's support. This is the NVIDIA surrogate, right? They do AI servers. Not for me at the moment, just on the watch list. If it pulls back to support about 700, I will give it a crack. For a scalp, the 770 now has probably another 10% to go on the downside. This is end phase. End phase, again, breaking out. I'm the owner of the stock about 125. It's 127, down about 3.5 points today. No big deal on a horrible market. Above its 50-day, above its that's the 20-day, above its 50-day right here. Stock is breaking out. You guys got to watch it. Put it on your list. And then I'll go. Okay, I added these 4 stocks to my watch list. One is called Chewy. I call it Chewy. It's now my computer is slowing down. Come on, don't do this. Okay, this is Chewy. This is earnings came out, stock broke out. Here's the downtrend of how many years? I don't know. Now. Can you guys hear me? Okay, Chris is not there. Here's that downtrend, broke out. Definite buyer of the stock at 21, wherever it's at. On any pullback, I'm a buyer. Gapped up on earnings. Above its 200-day, above its 50-day, above its 20-day. Here's the next level of resistance at 25. Love these types of charts. When they base, and then with good news, they break out with catalyst. Always a buyer. I'll go through a couple of other ones and then answer some questions. This is one stock that I've been telling you guys since 15. I know this because I watched the old shows. This is Zim Holdings. It's a shipping company. Okay, market's in the shit. Stock is up 5% today. I've been talking to you guys about this stock since it broke out about 14.15 right here. Right here. Okay. These are the stocks that you guys need to find, and these are the stocks that you guys need to own. Market goes up, stock goes up. Market goes down, stock goes up. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, people. These are the stocks that you need to find and do. How do you find it? I'm going to start explaining that to you guys next week. Here's another one chart that I showed you guys last week. I added to my watch list. Again, market's in the shitter. Stock is up 3%. How does that happen? Well, not everything goes down when the market goes down. Again, nobody owns the stock market. You own the stock. You don't own the stock market, right? So you guys got to find these outperforming names and stick to them. So with that said, let's see if I have any questions. Okay. Okay. Yeah, my computer is so slow. Okay. Let's put this up and let's answer these questions. Come on, bro. There it is. Okay. All right. Stocks, questions, highlighted ones. Is there any other ones? I don't think Chris is around. All right. So Alex Bobby asks, on Tuesday, April 20th, you profited buy and call options against? No. Okay. Maybe your question has got to get rephrased. I bought call options, yes, in the small account, and stock went from 8 to 15, and I day traded it. That's why I almost got hit with PDT, pattern day trader rule. So, okay, can you explain your strategy for what strike prices and expiration dates you used? Shortest one possible when you see a move coming like that, okay? Because the premium you're going to pay is not that much. So on that day, when the stock was about 8.5, it started to move on massive volume because there was an announcement. There was a catalyst. The announcement was that marijuana is going to be considered a category 3 drug as opposed to category 1, and it took off. Now, there is also a situation that 30% of that float or the stock is sold short. So what did the shorts do? Shorts started covering as well. And in those cases, you buy the shortest possible one, the cheapest possible option, because you don't want to risk more than that. In most cases, and your second question I see answers yourself actually. So I bought the May 10 calls. I bought them at $1 and $1.05. I blew them all out at $1.95, and then they went to 5. Right now, but if you double your money in 20 minutes, yeah, you need to take that. To me, it doesn't make any sense. So I could have waited, should have waited, but then you correctly state the next day stock goes down 50%. That's why I day traded it, because these kind of small stocks on Catalyst, they're called pump and dumps. I don't trust it. Not like, let's say, an Nvidia or an Apple or a Google. I don't trust it. So that's why you take your profit on those. You day trade if you need to day trade. And would it be a good strategy to buy options anticipating this correction? You mean put options? No, by then the implied volatility is through the roof. You're not going to make money even if when the stock goes down, because the market makers are not stupid. They're not going to give you free meals, but you probably would have made some money when the stock. But then how do you know it's going to stop at 15? That stock has a tendency here. Let's take a look at the chart of that stock. That stock has a tendency of doing crazy shit. So that's canopy growth. And look where the stock is today, right? And that's the day, that's the move that he's talking about right here, this day right here. Okay. Yeah, man. And then look where it's at today, right? I don't trust these stocks, right? I mean, these are small stocks that make these massive moves, and you got to take your money and run. So hopefully that answered your question. I'm in my 50s with no real savings or retirement. Can I start invest now and be able to have enough to retire when I'm in my nope, that's not going to happen. Reality is reality. I call it the way I see it, but there is no time not to invest, right? Whatever you can afford, start putting some money into an account, regular brokerage account, $100 a week, whatever you can afford, $200 a week, whatever you're making. and dollar cost average. And in 15 years, will you be able to retire? No, because there's something called rule of 72. 72 divided by whatever return you're getting. So let's say the S&P 500 over the last 100 years has returned 9-10%. So every 7 years, you're going to double your money. It also depends how much money you're going to put into it, right? And hopefully you have a long life. Hopefully you don't look at 10, you have some retirement money coming in from Social Security if it's still there, and start adding to that as well. But can you if you had done this when you were in your 20s, 30s, yeah, then you'd definitely be retiring at 65. How long will it take to replace my income and do rideshare part-time? Depending, I don't know your particulars. I'm not going to give you advice about that. I don't know what your income is. It's like a general question. Plus, I'm not supposed to give trading advice. I can tell you that you're late to invest, but it's never too late. I know you're going to say it's hedging, but start saving money. Start saving money, open an account, put some money into that account, and dollar cost average into an index fund. If you like Bitcoin, go into Bitcoin. If you like the market, go into S&P 500. If you like, individual stocks, dollar cost average into your favorite stocks. I mean, but or some high dividend stocks, right? They're not that volatile, like let's say Pepsi's and Coca-Cola's and consumer cyclical stocks, which have 4, 5, 6% dividend. While you can have appreciation, you can also have a dividend, reinvest those dividends as well. And it's called a drip system, drip, 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 right? But it takes time. And I'm glad that you're thinking about it. So if you can do it, please start doing it ASAP. William says, "Oh, I'm as good as it can be. It sucked yesterday. If it sucked yesterday, it sucked more today for you, William. If you're long the market, a Tesla AI bot showing up to fix shitter. In a capitalist society, UBI won't work. No, I don't know about that. We're not a capitalist society anymore. Not everybody is benefiting from capitalism, sir. The 1% owns 95% of the assets. I don't know what kind of capitalism that is, but it's not my kind of capitalism. The thing now is that to get into the trades, no AI robot is going to hammer and nail it. Exactly, William. Exactly. Uh, Start from George Bush Jr. Okay, this is political now. To this president, Vic G says, have to pay the no, it's 35 trillion now. Sorry, it's a lot more. Japan holds more than China. Yeah, I mean the whole world. We owe money to the whole world. We owe money to everyone, and I mean, you figure out to run your house this way. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, this is an interesting one. William Larry Kudlow, who used to be on CNBC, he's an old fart now. Who knows his shit economics? Yeah, you know what that does? That's like you having a house with a 30-year mortgage and can't afford to do it. Now you go to a 50-year mortgage. All you're doing is kicking the can down the road. I completely disagree with Mr. Kudlow on this one. How about paying down the debt instead of extending the duration of the debt? Garbage. It's all bullshit. Kicking down. So on that one, William, I don't agree with you or Mr. Kudlow. Although I would love to interview Mr. Kudlow. Why did the market drop? Econ was as expected. Again, good question. Why did the market drop? Because there is something called in our markets buy on rumors, sell on fact, and that's what's happening now. Market's always 6-8 months ahead of the economy. So market will drop like 30%, and then the economy will go in a recession. So plus market's like a little overvalued, to be honest with you. Again, though, it's still in an uptrend. No big deal. Don't panic. It's okay. Life will go on. Hello, Megan. Was it that Biden admins give you? Yeah. See, you guys want to push me into politics? I don't want to get pushed into politics. This is not a political channel. It's it's a finance channel. Okay, both parties. Okay, I might put it this way: both parties are not doing it the right way. Republicans, the only time Republicans kind of did it the right way when they balanced the budget, they had a balanced budget amendment. That went out the window when COVID hit. Right, it was nothing. So both parties love spending money. And when fiscal policy is that way in Washington, Fed's hands are tied in monetary policy. That's all I can say. But both parties are guilty of doing whatever the F they're doing. Yeah, the bombs I'm not going to touch. Some finance guru. There is no other finance guru other than me. Except, oh yeah, well, we talked about that. That may be the same guy, Mr. Hussman. 3150 by next year. No, that's not going to happen. Good luck. Uh, uh, okay, when in doubt. Yep. Always look at the bigger picture. Although the bigger picture is stinking at the moment. Megan. Kuber, another question. Are we able to ask questions or earnings? Well, if you're part of an analyst community, I can ask questions. Yeah, you have to be part of an analyst community, like Goldman and JP Morgan or Bank of America, or be an independent and get in there. You can listen to it though. You can learn a lot from listening how these CEOs and CFOs schmooze these analysts, these sell-side analysts who come on CNBC and tout their positions, right? You can do that. I've been listening, let's say, to Uber and Lyft's conference call forever. So any other questions? Let's see. No, I don't know. That's it. All right. So I gave you guys my watch list, my additions. There's a few other ones. What I'm going to do actually on the check, please go to the YouTube page, community page. I'm going to post my Robinhood account there, the result. Also, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to post my, by symbol, my watch list. So homework is start looking at those charts. Start studying where your buy point is, where your sell point should be, right? So recapping, market's kind of eating it today. No big deal. Life will go on. I will share. Okay, Monday, join me again on Monday for the last time, Monday, because I'm only going to do these power hours on Friday now, but I'm going to do them longer, like 90 minutes instead of 60. Topics, questions, because I think Monday and Friday is kind of meaningless, really. Like what's going to happen between Friday and Monday. So once a week, longer show. So I may even do some trades while I'm talking to you guys to see what I'm doing. But Monday, please join me. I'm going to share my actual trading account with the results to the end of May. And you guys will see where the money is going, what's happening. If I'm up, if I'm down, if I improve from April to May with a tough market. If I manage risk well, you guys will see all that. So with that said, let's see if there is any other last questions. You too, have a good weekend. Be safe out there. I'm going to cash for the weekend. Not a bad idea, Chewy 13. I mean, look, I have positions always. I'm not going to worry that the world's going to come to an end, but you just have to be positioned in the right stocks or right ETFs or right parts of the market. There is always something going up. Look, if you cannot short things like I can, which Monday I'm going to talk about that too, because market's turning it down. How do we make money, right? We talked about options. You buy put options. If you had bought put option a couple 3 days ago, like I did, actually, you know what? In fact, let me just show you guys this because full transparency. This is my trading account. Okay. And I will show you guys so far my, give me 1 second. Okay, these are the closed positions so far. Okay. Now, how many YouTubers will show you guys this on a live basis? These are the realized gains and losses. Can you guys see this? I hope you can. Chris, am I sharing? Am I doing this right, Chris? I hope I am. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is my, okay, let me go back to that. Here is my, okay, these are my realized gains and losses. All right. You guys see some reds. You guys see some greens. You guys want to count it up? I don't know. That looks pretty good to me on a down day. So how are there more greens? And look at the size of this greens, right? So 478, 26 green. Those are the 20 GameStop calls that I quickly traded, make $500. I was short some puts, but then I was long the, I had a position called a calendar spread, and I was long puts, July puts, and I was short puts that were expiring today, and I closed it all up, right? I was long Wayfair calls. I'm long the stock, but I traded the stock, so made some money there. But look at the puts, right? Market's going down, right? So I have two more open positions which are going to expire worthless on the red ones that you guys can see. So let's add the red up in your mind. 805, 150, 955, 1155, 1185, 1385, 1400, 15, 16, 1650 in red. Okay. These are closed realized gains and losses. $1,650 in losses. Okay. And at the end of the day, this will change because I may close or open some other positions. These are realized though. And then the way, I was short the market. Like I said, I was short through the 455 July puts on the triple Qs. So let's add the gains up. 3,300, 363, 83, 91, I don't know, 12 and a half, 15 and a half, 17, 18, 20 grand, okay, approximately. So the greens are about 20, 21 grand, you know, the reds are about 1,500, pretty good day for a short day and for power hour. So how many people will do this on YouTube? I'm showing you guys whatever my account made or lost today. So there you go. You can make money when the market's going down. Do you guys want more proof of that? I don't know what else to say. There's ways to there's ways to skin a cat. Can you guys do this? If you guys are learning, yes. I'm trying to figure out. I need your input. Please just shoot me, like, put some comments on the videos that you guys watch. Serge, yeah, this is all great. You're making money, but I'm not making any money. How do I participate in this? I need some ideas how to do this. I want you guys to make money, don't get me wrong. But I think giving you guys, so go check the community page, giving you guys my watch list, what I trade, what I'm watching. Can you guys do what I do? No, not yet. But yeah, I'm proving it to you guys that when the market goes down, you can make actually really decent money. But you have to be equipped for it. So what's the equipment for that? Education. I told you guys about the books, technical analysis, options. Did you guys get the books? Are you studying? Are you catching up to me? You may never catch up to me, but at least catch up to me so we can speak the same language. And I may do like a Discord server. I may do something else. I don't know. We're going to discuss that with Chris to see where we are. Yes, exactly, Megan. If I'm doing it with 150K, you can do it with 1,500. It's just the percentages are going to be the same. Dollar amounts are going to be different, but percentages are going to be the same. So I want to, show that on Monday. Please join me again for one last time on Mondays, and then we're going to switch power hours to Fridays. So with all that said, much love. Stay healthy. It's just money. So your profits are your income. Well, I have other income. Good question. I have other passive income. But yeah, yeah, it is. If you make money, you make money. I don't know what else to say. Yes, it's part of my income. Is it all my income? No. Because you can never depend on this income, right? I have been depending on this income for 30 years, but it's additional income. And then if you make money at the end of the year, you go make other investments, meaning, long-term holdings. I have like 2-3 different stock accounts. One is the pure trading account. One is long-term holding account. I'm a huge believer in stocks. I've been for 30 years. When you believe in stocks, you're believing in America, right? You're believing in the geniuses of this country. You can easily participate in all of that. You own 1 share or 1,000 shares or 1,000,000 shares, right? NVIDIA, genius people running that company. Do I have that brain power? Absolutely not, right? But or Apple or Meta or Google or all these companies, wonderful, amazing companies that are run by amazing people, much smarter than me. Well, how do I get a piece of that pie? You own shares. I mean, that's it. That's all I can say. You believe in this country and you go invest in those companies. You put your money where your mouth is. And that's what I've done. And again, I'm an immigrant, thankful, humbled, appreciative of what this country has given to me. But then I use this too, though. I mean, I'm not total dumb shit. You know what I mean? So anyway. So yeah, Megan is 100% right. We're going to finish on this. Megan is 1,000,000% right. Most successful people have multiple streams of income. Yes, always seek to grow and diversify yourself. Yes, and yes. The only thing that I don't own enough of is real estate, because I'm not a huge believer in it. Real estate over the last, I don't know, 100 years has returned to 3% a year. Don't figure out this what happened the last 20 years that you guys see houses doubling and stuff. I own my primary residence, which is fine. I bought it 22 years ago. It's almost paid off. So massive amounts of equity built in it. But I don't own any other real estate because I believe in stocks and I'm good at it. I'm good at finding them. I'm good at, part of it long-term investment, part of it you want to call gambling, trading, whatever the heck it is. But I've done extremely well in trading. So I don't know. So anyway, I appreciate all of you. So join me Monday. We'll break down my trading account. I showed you guys what the account looks like so far. I'm sure it'll be better by the end of the day because I have open positions like Alibaba, like many open positions. And so I'm gonna two things. Please go check the community page. I'm gonna put my whole watch list. There's like 30 stocks in here. Okay, and they are all outperforming the market. Okay, so start studying those stocks. If you're going to buy one share of something you like, if you don't have massive accounts. So there you go. Anyway, so we'll see you guys on Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Much love. Stay safe. Make some money. Hope you didn't get hurt today.